All right. Hey guys, welcome to BP the Bible Perspective. Um, uh, my thoughts on Breonna Taylor, the non-indictment. Any of you that's been watching, certainly, uh, probably, if you watch the news, you know now the district attorney did not return an indictment, probably, sufficient. Certainly, that would be fitting, I think, for a crime. But my question is, how is it that some Christians don't see Brianna for whom God loves, meaning that they don't see, you look of a person, and I've been listening to radio, and I listen to both conservative, progressive radio stations. A person. I look at both sides. I do. I oftentimes want to just see what people are saying, see if people will present honest sides, and most of the time they don't. Whether it's progressive or conservative, they don't present a fair view, which was kind of stirring my thoughts here. That whichever side, and I'm going to say, of course, from a Christian perspective, I don't understand how you can look at a life being snuffed out and you don't feel empathy, but you vilify, you demonize. And this is what I've been hearing from the conservative side, in the sense that she deserves what she gets. She was a criminal. Her boyfriend was a criminal. Now, I'm not going to kind of go into Breonna's case itself. I'm gonna make a couple of observations. There are facts out there that you can get, and then you see the spin on facts. And by the way, on both sides, right? Here's what we kind of know, in the sense that the police officers went to a house to serve a no-knock warrant. Turns out drugs wasn't there. They ended up killing Breonna Taylor, who was the EMT. By every measure, she was a good person. But now, if you look at the other side, people will say, but her boyfriend was the drug dealer. Had that been established? I think one of the things, when we talk about race issues and police issues, whenever I hear people cite statistics and they cite certain facts or cite certain views, okay, I'm always interested in their persuasion. What is persuaded? For example, if you only listen to conservative news, what is interesting about that, you're going to get a particular view, and they're going to point out certain views to color, to persuade your view. Now, on the other hand, I listened to some of the pundits, and they go into their rhetoric, right? That black man can't get a break. Police are hunting us down like dogs, right? And that's not true, right? In other words, when you kind of step back and you look at policing, what makes the camera is you got certain facts. Now think about this. If I put a camera on you and follow you around, I'm going to find a whole lot wrong. if you don't put a camera on me like now, you're looking at me through this camera, and all you see is this little space right here. What you don't see is what's over here, right? You don't see what's I'm pointing back. You don't see the surrounding. You may be surprised, right? But all you see is this right here. If you put a camera on certain people, or you magnify certain things, you're going to see only a certain view. But the reality is that as a Christian, and you look at people whom God loves, and there's a whole history that we can go through in terms of race and why and how certain people see Black people. Of course, in this little segment, we're not going to get into it. But I'm amazed at how Christians can look at just even the news. You see the police who get it wrong. Now, there's a spin out there that's not necessarily factual. And I guess I'm not going to get into it. Because what you find is that if you didn't find drugs, and you're saying that we're going there to find drugs, and you didn't find drugs, you see a woman who was shot 8 times. Why doesn't that cause you to feel? And there's a reason, but why doesn't, as Christians? Now, and that's really oftentimes when I engage with people, my thing is that I'm always looking at it from a Christian perspective, not a social justice perspective, not a conservative perspective. But it's troubling to see how Christians can say she, in the sense they really don't want to say it, but she deserves what she got, or or that those kind of things happen in that kind of neighborhood. Keep in mind, she was an EMT. She was making it better, and regardless of what you may think, you're looking at a life that was just snuffed out. Now, as far as justice is concerned, let me say this. When people riot and they loot and they burn, that's a mixture in itself. Some people are giving voice to protest, but other people are leeches leaning on. Here's what I'm going to say. Laws need to be changed because hearts are not. See, there are conditions that exist how police see Black people. Let's also expand that. That's how they see poor people, right? If you stop and think about this, society doesn't care about the poor. And below that, they don't care about Black people and certain Black people. But laws need to be changed. But here's what I'm going to say. As Christians, we ought to care. We ought to care about when lives are snuffed out. When there are people right now, and these are Christians, who are coming to the defense of the police, coming to the defense of the system, and won't mention Breonna Taylor. One of the most interesting about the indictment was that the cop is getting an indictment for bullets, not that he shot at or the bullets that hit Breonna, but bullets that hit other apartments. Now think about that for a moment. That's what he's getting indicted for. And again, it's crazy. This is kind of what I know, kind of to me an incoherent, sort of like I'm gonna say an incoherent rant. But my question is why? How is it that Christians, right? How is it that Christians don't see people whom God loved? That was someone whom God loved, by the way. All right, guys. I'm going to end it there because, again, my thoughts are just so scrambled over this. That reaction. Okay. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. And as always, if you have thought or comment, add it to the comment section below. All comments are welcome. Till next time, I'll see you then.